Bonafide hustler here. Bonafide hustler here. Bonafide hustler is here. Bonafide hustler here. Today we're going to talk about outside jackets. What's going on, guys? This is Chris the Bonafide Hustler coming to you live from a pretty cold evening here in my garage. Today, as you can see behind me, we're going to talk about jackets. And I'll just show you the differences between a lot of jackets that you'll be finding on a regular basis out there and how to spot the right kind of ones. Okay? So let's get right to it. So for the first jacket, we're going to talk about skiing. Now, the skiing brands that I really like to stick around with, DNA, Spider, and Columbia, higher end Columbia jackets. But anyway, here's an example of a DNA jacket. Really cool. One of the more rare ones though, because this one's kind of snake printed. As you can see, it's really neat. And there's kind of like a DNA little logo thing. Looks like a little dead fish, whatever. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, okay. So, really nice jacket, by the way. Detachable hood, detachable liner. Now, how do I know this thing's a ski jacket? Well, it has a ski skirt inside. See this little thing right here? Okay. So from here, it's a little rubber looking thing, right? It says DNA, DNA, DNA. But as this thing's closed in front of you, that closes shut so that if you wipe out all the snow that rushes up inside your body, it doesn't get past that skirt and doesn't go up here, okay? So that's what a ski skirt is. It's very rubbery, looks like a giant rubber band down here. So that's definitely a ski jacket. So if you need to know, and this one also says goggle pocket right there. A lot of them will say goggle pocket, or they'll have a transparent little window right here where you can put like the lift pass when you're going up the lift. A lot of people like to put the lift pass under this little tab right here, so when you get up to the lift dude and he's like, where's your pass? You flip open your little, see-through label thing, and it's right there. So you'll see a lot of those too. But anyway, DNA, Spider, and higher-end Columbia, I like to stick with those brands. That's a ski jacket right there. For the second type of jacket, these are called softshell jackets. Now, I kind of like soft shells and I kind of don't like soft shells. They don't really perform anything really well, but they do a little bit of everything, okay? So here's a North Face Apex 1 softshell jacket. And the way you know it's a softshell, it's just really nice, it's soft, first of all, right? It almost looks like a shirt, but it is a jacket. So inside, it's got a very, very thin layer of fleece, typically. And as you can see, the fleece is real thin. This is one of the first Apexes, so it's pretty cool. It's got a neat interior. This thing's market value is probably around, 50 bucks or something. Now, the reason why I don't really like soft shells too much is because they repel a little bit of water, they repel a little bit of wind, and they're a little bit warm. So they're not really good for really anything solely. They just do a lot of things a little bit. I know it's a little confusing. But, so you'll know it's not a true windbreaker because you can hold it up to your mouth and blow kind of right through it. So, but it will repel a little bit of wind. As for water, if I was to sprinkle water on this thing, you would see it bead up a little bit. But over the course of like a minute or two, you would see it seep into the fabric. So it repels water, but it's not waterproof per se. And then the third thing, you can see how thin it is, so you know it's definitely not super warm. So that's a soft shell jacket for you right there. So here's another example of a soft shell jacket. Here's a Mountain Hardwear one. I love the brands Mountain Hardwear, Marmot, Arc'teryx, and North Face. This one's a really cool one. This one says Gore Windstopper on it. If you ever see Gore-Tex or Windstopper, then you can kind of blow through it, and you can't blow through it. So you're going to try to, but as you put it up to your mouth and you blow through, you look like a total fool in a store or whatever, you're just blowing on jackets all day. You'll realize on the Gore Windstopper ones that you cannot blow through them. So that's good. That means it's an actual windbreaker, soft shell. We can open it, but it's extremely, it's flimsy, right? It's a soft shell jacket. And this one you can see just by looking at it, it's not going to repel water very well. But it will block wind. It's a little bit warm. So, like I said, soft shell jackets, not the coolest thing, but it is an okay thing to have if you have nothing else. As for a hustling thing, all these jackets that you see back here, first of all, you want to try to buy all these things like maybe 15 and below, and you want to try to sell these jackets for like 50, 60, all the way up to 200 bucks. That's your goal. So don't ever spend more than like 15 bucks on a jacket. I really try to spend no more than like 11 bucks. All right, so jacket number 3, the type is a windbreaker. Now, everyone's heard that term, windbreaker. Now, what does that mean? It means exactly what it says. it breaks the wind, and that's about it. So here's a windbreaker made by Marmot. Marmot is a great brand. So for windbreakers, I mean, there's so many good brands. Helly Hansen, Marmot, Arc'teryx, North Face, Mountain Hardwear. There are a lot of good brands. So here's the Marmot. This thing, market value, you know, if you find a good one and it doesn't look like it's all super messed up, then yeah, you can probably buy these. We bought this one for dirt cheap, like $4, and its market value is somewhere around maybe, you know, 70 all the way up to maybe 130. True windbreaker, you can just see it looking at it. It almost looks like a raincoat, but you know, the only way you know it's not a raincoat is when you put water on it, it actually beads inside the fabric a little bit after the course of like a minute. But the test to make sure it's a windbreaker, hold it up to your mouth, blow through it, and you can't blow through this at all, okay? So this is a true windbreaker, not warm, okay? Windbreakers will typically have, should I say, like hoods, like right around here. Okay, so there's a hood in here stuffed, and you can put it over yourself. Windbreakers typically don't repel water, and they're not very warm. They're very, 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 very compactable. They get into a very tiny form. So that's what a windbreaker is. Brands: Marmot, North Face, Mountain Hardwear, you know, Columbia, you know, some of the higher ones, Arc'teryx, Helly Hansen. There's just a bunch of them, and they're all pretty good. So, all right, that's a windbreaker. Okay, now we're on to the fleeces. Now everyone knows what a fleece is because if you go to any freaking town, all the high schoolers and all the college students and all the, you know, whatever, are always wearing these North Face jackets that look a little bit like this, okay? So this North Face jacket is actually one of the Denali models. It's a very popular jacket. It's very, very warm. Now, if you know a little bit about fleece, fleece is typically a 3M material, right? The company 3M makes Thinsulate, makes all kinds of like different fleece kind of things. And so you'll see 3M being the primary manufacturer of fleece, or Polartec. I think 3M might even own Polartec, but anyway, those are the two kind of fabrics inside that comprise the fleece that you will find out there. North Face is a decent brand. They're probably the pioneers of widespread fleece. I wouldn't say the best fleeces. Now they kind of come in two different weights. I believe like a 200 or 300 or a 300-400, but either way, this is one of the heavier fleece weights, and when you put it on, you can totally tell. It's very warm, repels zero wind, okay, and repels zero water. It's just for warmth. That's it. So here's an example of the Denali Fleece, North Face. Real nice. A good fleece typically will have pit zips. That's the zippers right here where your armpit is. That's right there. A good fleece will have good front pockets right here, and they might even have like a pocket right about here. So yeah, North Face is a decent brand. A brand new Denali jacket these days is like $150. So, like I said, try to hustle these things for like $10 or, you know, $15 and below, and then sell them for like 70 to 80, slightly used condition, whatever you want to say. Just try to buy them in decent condition. Make sure there are no really crazy things on the fleece part, and you'll know a good fleece when you see it. But stick with the brands like I would say Marmot, Arc'teryx again, North Face, and Mountain Hardwear. Okay, so that's fleece for you. Remember, repels no water, repels no wind, super warm. Okay, now while on the fleece subject, there is a fleece vest. Okay, you might see this here and there. This is a Chinchilla by Patagonia. Now, Patagonia is a great brand. In fact, I totally forgot to mention Patagonia as a brand for just about everything that we've gone through so far. So anyway, Patagonia, super awesome brand. Here's a Chinchilla vest that I got for like $4. Market value of this thing probably 40 or 50. Very compactable, easy compactable. Ship it out through the mail, probably no more than $5.75 to anywhere in America. Yeah, so hustle these. These are typically cheap. You'll never usually pay out for these things. You'll find them for pretty dirt cheap. But that brand, Patagonia, right there, P-A-T-A-G-O-N-I-A, that is a Patagonia vest. Very nice, extremely warm, repels no water, repels no wind. Okay? Okay, now, on to raincoats. Now, a raincoat looks kind of like this. This is a raincoat, crinkly, you know. We all know what a raincoat is. Always has a hood. Sometimes the hood goes into the collar, sometimes it doesn't. This is an external one. This is a North Face one. Now, North Face ones are pretty cool. Typically, a raincoat's going to be windproof. It's not going to be necessarily warm. Compactable, kind of. You might find a raincoat with pit zips. You know, this one's got them right here. But most of them, I don't know, the cheaper ones won't. The nicer ones will. But I don't have to explain a raincoat any more than it is. What brands should you look at? I still like the North Faces, I still like the Mountain Hardwares, I still like the Marmots, I still like the Arc'teryxes, and I like the Mountain Hardwares and Patagonia. So that's a raincoat, really neat, and typically the inside will be kind of meshy like that. It'll have a little mesh inside, okay? So that way it keeps the actual raincoat part of it away from your skin, and you don't end up sweating your ass off in that thing. So, all right, raincoat. Okay, so now we're on to kind of fashion jackets by good manufacturers. Now, every decent manufacturer is creating kind of like a fashion line. It sucks, and they're all kind of selling out, but you know what? There's money to be made there. So here is something that kind of serves no purpose at all. It will keep you a little bit warm, but it's not a windbreaker, won't repel water, and it definitely, you'll still freeze your ass off a little bit. But it is made by Mountain Hardwear. I love this brand, and it's called, I think, a commute jacket or something. Just found this thing today, actually, for dirt cheap. I mean, 10 bucks. So there it is, mint condition. I'm always trying to buy these jackets in very, very good condition to new. And as you can see, this one's in perfect condition. Its market value is somewhere around maybe, 65 to like 85 bucks. And I bought it for 10, so you can ship it anywhere around the nation for about 9 bucks. Pretty decent hustle. Just make sure the condition's really, really good. All right, guys. So how'd you like it, right? You got a little bit of an education on some jackets. Now you can go out there and try to find them and hustle them. So I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and find me on Facebook, The Bonafide Hustler.